Hi everybody. Unfortunately, I can't be at this presentation tonight. Circumstances have led me elsewhere, and I had a conflict that I could not get out of. Therefore, I have made this video to show my own reflection on the Dewey project I did, which is the Make-A-Wish Foundation, as you already heard. When I'm reflecting about this was an interesting project for me. One of the most interesting things was that I was very dubious going in about how successful we were going to be. I honestly didn't think we would be able to sell any paper cranes at the Data Center tabling. I didn't think anybody would want to buy them. It's just not something I would buy walking through the Davis Center, even if I was carrying money, so I couldn't see why other people would. I always thought people were more inclined to buy food or something they could use, not just a simple decoration, even if it is for a good cause. So when Lily told me that she'd actually been able to sell some paper cranes at the Davis Center, I was very surprised by that. And that was a good surprise. It wasn't a bad surprise. Even though we'd sold very little. I hadn't been able to table because I kept having conflicts or forgetting, as Lily will probably tell you, that I had signed up to table. So I didn't really experience that. Lily, however, was able to sell some in a week of tabling along with Bianca and Olivia, which I was impressed by that we were able to sell any at all. And when we came up with the idea of doing a change drive in some of the dormitories, that's when we actually started to make money. And I was even more surprised by that because I thought, we're going to get a quarter here and there to, and might be able to give out some cranes. But no, we actually made a lot of money. So that was good. Yeah. Also, another conflict came up, which is which type of crane design was better. I don't know if you've seen, but there are actually two different kinds of paper cranes you can make out of origami paper. I didn't realize this going in. I thought there was just one kind, so when I looked up how to make one, I saw the one kind, which is this one, which is sort of my trademark kind right now. It's very angular, very sharp, not quite as pleasant. It shows off the folds a little bit more better. It's not becoming. It doesn't look like a nice decoration for a dorm room. Also, I had this ghastly pink and red and white paper that actually when we were selling these, almost nobody bought them. They bought all the other ones, but I saw maybe one of these got taken. And let me show you why. This is the kind I made. This is the kind that the girls made. As you can see, it's much nicer. Not just because of the paper, but actually because of the folds itself. It's less angular, it's more organic looking, much more pleasant, less sharp, I guess you'd say. So there's that. So these actually got sold. But me being stubborn, I wanted to finish off the rest of the red paper that I had. So I kept making cranes out of this paper, but switched to this. And even then it wasn't very successful, though that was probably the kind. But who knows? I also found it interesting because I did learn more about the Make-A-Wish Foundation during this project than I had before. One of the things was I thought they were just, all they did was grant the wishes of children with terminal illnesses. Turns out that's not the case. They actually do it for children with chronic illnesses, meaning they have illnesses that they're not going to get better from, but aren't necessarily going to die from during childhood, which was a surprise to me. I learned that partially from Olivia and partially from reading all the information on the Make-A-Wish Foundation's website. Also, there's the cliche that the Make-A-Wish Foundation sends cancer kids to Disney World, which I actually believed at the beginning of our project and managed to piss Olivia off quite a lot by saying that. I was wrong, I admit it. And I take it back. They do a lot of really good work. It's not just kids with cancer. My bad. Yeah. Also, it was interesting the type of salesmanship you needed when selling these, because I've done a different kind of tabling in the Davis Center, and that's difficult because you have to actually approach people, and they're all in a hurry. They're all going to class or going to buy something, and they're like, no, or they'll make excuses. No, I don't have any money on me. I'm in a hurry. I have to get to class. Sorry, or they'll just avoid you altogether and not talk to you. I was actually tabling for Obama today when I made this video, and I kept wanting to get really angry at the people when they just sort of ignored me when I was talking to them. So I can see why tabling was hard at the Davis Center. But when we actually went around from door to door, it was actually easier because we were approaching people in their home environment where they would have money and where it would be much harder for them to lie and say they didn't have any money or any change. And that's probably one of the reasons we got more donations. Also, it was because we were selling a decoration that people could actually handle and say, oh, I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this in my room, like that. And it was much more direct. There was no way that they could really avoid us easily. They couldn't just walk past us as they did in the Davis Center. They actually would have to open the door, say hi, and we'd say, hi, here's what we're doing. Do you have any change or a dollar? And it's kind of hard, you know, like to not even give someone a quarter. But a lot of people ended up giving $1. And at least 2 people gave us 5s, even though we only gave them 1 paper crane. So rich kids at UVM, I guess. So that was an interesting experience. Also, it was interesting how the process of getting people to buy them was, because it's uncomfortable. I admit, going from door to door, literally asking people for money and giving them a crane. And so we sort of took turns doing it between the 3 of us, or 2 of us sometimes, because, you know, we couldn't all be there at once selling them. And we learned more and more each time. I mean, the first time we went from door to door, they had me wear a unicorn mask. Just randomly. Lily has 2 unicorn masks in her room. We all have our eccentricities. I have a giant painting of Superman and Wonder Woman on my wall, so I really can't talk about eccentricities. But a unicorn mask, which had shock value. So we would knock on the door, and they'd open it up, and they'd see a unicorn staring at them with really creepy eyes. I bet this unicorn had freaky stuff. Maybe Lily will show it to you. So they go, oh my god, it's a unicorn. And then we'd start talking to them. So as they're in shock, then you have to sort of go on the attack and listen to them. Then they have to listen to what we have to say. And that sort of worked, but eventually we did away with that just because we decided the shock value wasn't really necessary. We also had a mask that was like a lizard person from Land of the Lost. I don't remember what the actual species of lizard is called. It's a fantasy lizard. And that didn't quite have as much shock value either, but we did away with that as well. So finally, when we really the time we really made the most money was when we went over to the greenhouse. We did away with all the masks and all the eccentricities and all the decorations, and it was just a box of cranes and us going door to door and say, hey, and do you have any money that you'd like to donate? Do you have spare change or $1 that you'd like to donate to the Make-A-Wish Foundation to do this? And that even though that was the building that we made the most money at, it still took a little while for us to get comfortable asking people that. In the end, I was the person who was asking people for money while the others were holding the boxes and being the support staff, which works. I'm not complaining. Maybe I'm just more comfortable doing that than the others were. I don't know. I like to think that it was because of my charming good looks that I was able to get the beautiful girl to the greenhouse to give me money, but that's just me being vain. I don't know if that's really the case. Yeah. And I think I'm running out of time now, so I will let you all listen to the rest of the presentation. Again, I'm sorry that I can't be there, but this is the best I can do on short notice. So I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I'll see you all around. Cheers!